Stapler is weird. It is a spoof of other indie horror games and is single-handedly the most thought-provoking piece of media I have ever consumed. It has put the fear of God into me, pun fully intended. It follows a mentally disturbed hunter on his journey to staple squirrels to his dead wife to revive her. The game is incredibly vague as to why most of the events happen. Here are the canonical events. The hunter goes to a cabin with his wife. The hunter kills and skins his wife. The hunter kills nearby squirrels and staples them to her corpse. The hunter is banished from the forest by God. So what does that actually mean? I have no idea, but I can theorise. This game is a parody, but I studied English for 5 years, so I'm confident I can derive meaning from it. We must first gather all of the information the game gives us using the notes found in game. We can theorise that one of the other cabins or shacks might be owned by Nutty Nate. We can equally theorise that the artist in the notes is the protagonist, who I have personally dubbed the Hunter. Now, who is the Hunter? According to David Szymanski, if you're watching, hi David, I love your work so much. The Hunter doesn't have a name in the game, and that's why he is characterised by his occupation and insanity. We know very little about him, but we do know that he finds squirrels to be beautiful. This probably suggests something about the Hunter himself. He encounters 5 types of squirrels, not including God. The normal squirrel, the large squirrel, the double squirrel, the ghost squirrel, and the squirrel bear. Now, me and David Szymanski have had a casual correspondence about the lore, and when asked about the squirrel bear, he replied, "The squirrel bear is the squirrel bear." Wise words from an incredible man. This made me think about the game's creatures. I have a theory about the whole game. Obviously, the game is inspired by the Christian religion, thanks to the existence of God. I theorise that the forest you hunt in is the Garden of Eden, and that the squirrels represent an alternate humanity free of sin. I believe the hunter to be the devil, and that is why he is banished by God. He is the serpent in the tree, but that is where the story diverges. Yes, I am saying that Squirrel Stapler is Bible fan fiction. We'll start with the most obvious one, God. Now, a concept of God is in many games, but none of them let you shoot at God. I mean, almost none of them do. Look at Bloodborne. This would be considered heresy, which leads me to conclude that the hunter is either Satan himself or a Satan-possessed human, although more likely is that he is just insane. In the hunter's cabin, he can find pages from the Book of the Grove, which is an allegory for the Bible, in the way it is written, and its explicit biblical references being, thou shalt not staple squirrels, which is a commandment handed to Squirrel Moses. However, in this Bible, God is referred to as the goat of the woods and the All-Mother, which is where the Bible fanfic begins to fall apart, as the black goat of the woods is an eldritch creature whose name I am uncomfortable with saying, and the All-Mother is what the Norse Odin would be called if he was a woman. The grove that you hunt in, or the small forest, could also be thought of as a garden, potentially the Garden of Eden. Obviously, this is all speculation, but could the geocaches be biblical apples? This creates a second Bible fanfic story, as now the hunter is portrayed as Eve and is kicked out for collecting the caches, or the apple. So what is the actual story of Squirrel Stapler? What do we see? We see that the hunter has killed and skinned his wife, nailing her to the wall. He says how he loves squirrels and wants to transfer that love to his wife. On the first day, he goes out and hunts 5 normal squirrels. He comes home and staples them to his wife on the wall. On the second day, he hunts 5 normal squirrels and 1 giant squirrel and staples them to his wife on the wall. In the night, he hears scratching on his windows. On the third day, he hunts 5 normal squirrels and 1 giant squirrel and is hunted by squirrel bears. He staples the squirrel to his wife, who has somehow moved into the kitchen. On the 4th day, he goes out with the usual 5 normal and 1 giant and staples them to his wife, who is now back on her wall. On the 5th day, the hunter casually remembers that he's going to meet God today, and he hunts the regular squirrels, but he doesn't get to staple them to his wife as God descends, backed by a heavenly choir, and it ends. Squirrel Stapler ends and shows you the score. If you got all 5 caches, you unlock Giant Squirrel mode, and that's it. Nothing is explained. Those are all of the canon events. The artist is a side character in Squirrel Stapler who is only mentioned in the book The Lady. The Lady tells the tale of a poor artist who saves up and buys a paintbrush made with hair from a beautiful maiden. However, he comes to find out that the hair actually belonged to a boar, and when he found that out, he was inconsolable. He would go for walks with the portrait that he painted of what he thought the woman would look like until he happened upon a witch who made the paintings come to life. But he realised that he had only painted her from the waist up. She wailed and screamed, and the artist took an axe from the witch's hut and chopped her to pieces until the screams stopped. The witch suggested they eat her, and they both died. The final line is, art will eventually destroy the artist, and I think that might be a reflection of the creator himself getting disenfranchised with game creation, especially thanks to the success of Iron Lung. The reports scare me. I'm not quite sure who wrote them, but I think that the hunter wrote them as he killed his wife. There are 5 of them, and I think he began to write them when he first arrived in the shack, losing his shit and killing her on day 4 in the cabin, not day 4 in-game. I theorise this because your wife is already rotting by the time that the game itself starts. Day 4 seems somewhat important in the game, as it's when the artist kills the woman and the reporter goes mad. In numerology, the number 4 represents a strong connection to a guardian spirit, so I think he's symbolically killing his guardian spirit on day 4 and letting God come to get him. It could also... I both love and hate this game with equal passion. It scares me in such a way where playing the actual game itself I'm not scared, but the second I go even one level deep the fear grips me and I can't sleep anymore. So David Szymanski, if you're watching this, I want you to know that you've created a truly inspiring piece of fiction, one that has enveloped my own life and a few other people I know, so thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. I'm 100% aware that I've dove too deep into this, I found meaning in nothing, but is that not what life is all about? Finding meaning in the little things that make you smile from day to day? I don't even know what got me so hooked on this game. It's a game about shooting squirrels, and yet I wake up every day and I'm thankful to have played it. So thank you, and thank you for watching.